Hello everyone. In this session I am going to discuss about a protocol called SSH. So let's begin. To make my life easier, I am going to create a file, and inside that file I am going to write the things about SSH which I am going to discuss in this video. Okay. I am using VI text editor to create a file, and I am giving the file name as sshsinfo.txt, and the heading would of course be SSH, right? The question is now, what is SSH and what does it do? SSH stands for Secure Shell, but sometimes it is also called as Secure Socket Shell. Both are acceptable. And what does it do? SSH basically allows you to connect to a remote machine in a very secure way. Okay, so SSH allows you to connect to a remote host in a secure way. Suppose if two machines are geographically apart and you have to connect them with the help of internet or intranet, whichever, then you can use SSH protocol to connect one machine from another and do the stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how can we connect one machine to another using SSH, and after that I will come back to this file again. Here I have two machines, VM1 and VM2, and I'm going to connect VM2 to VM1. Okay, so what should we do and what would be the syntax of the command? First of all, I'll show you the syntax on connecting. Okay, first of all, we have to write a word SSH, and after SSH we have to write -p. -p means the port number using which, in which port number you would like to connect to the remote machine, and after this port number, and after this username @remote host IP or name. Okay, first of all, let's find out the IP of VM1. The IP of VM1 is 192.168.122.75. This is the IP of VM1, and we have to connect from VM2 to VM1. So what should we do? SSH, the standard word, -p, on which port we should be connecting. Okay, this is an interesting question. By default, SSH tries to connect on port number 22, but according to our requirement we can change the port. Okay, so we have to use 22. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. We can see on which port SSH protocol is listening. Okay, and for that we can use netstat. With the help of netstat we can see on which port SSH is listening. NTLP, enter. Here SSH is listening on port number 22. Here SSH D stands for daemon. Daemon means the service which runs on the background as long as the system is up and running. Okay, this is called as daemon. Daemon means the service which runs on the background as long as the system is up and running. In netstat NTLP, N stands for do not resolve into host names, T means show all the TCP connections, L means the listening ports, and P means the process ID or PID. From this output we can see that SSH is listening on port number 22. So we have to connect on port number 22. Now we have to use the username, using which user we are going to connect. For this session, I'm going to use user root @ I'll have to use IP address or host name. I have not set up the DNS, so I have to use the IP address here. Okay. SSH-P 22, the port number on which you are going to connect. Root, the username. @ the remote host IP address. Now, for this moment, I'm going to type S, but I will explain about this later. Okay, I mean in the later videos I'll explain why this message is coming and what is its use. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the password. Okay, now we are connected to lab VM1. Okay, if I see the IP address, we can see the IP address is 75. The hostname is lab VM1. No issues. So this way we can connect one system to another. I'm going to exit out of the session and return back to the file that I had created earlier, ssinfo.txt. Okay. Here one thing, by default SSH listens on port number 22, but according to our requirements we can change the default port number. In netstat NTLP, N stands for do not resolve to host name, T stands for show TCP connections, L stands for show listening sockets, and P stands for show process ID, PID. Alright, okay, and the syntax of connection would be, first of all, SSH space -p port number. After this, username @ remote host name or IP address. Okay, these are the basic things. Now let's move a bit further. Okay, what are the packages that we need to install on client and server machine to make SSH up and running? Packages that we need to install on server and client. Here server means the machine on which we are connecting, and client means the machine from which we are connecting. Okay, so in server side there need to have a package open SSH-server, whereas in client we need to have package open SSH-clients. Okay, so let's see what are the packages. Okay, I'm going to save the file, and if we want to find whether the SSH package is installed in the system or not, we can use a command rpm-qa. Q means query, A means all. Query all the packages installed in the system. If I hit enter, then it would display me a lot of packages, but we want to have a specific package, so we can use py through grep, and I will ignore the case and I write open SSH. We can see that SSH server package as well as client package, both are installed. Let's change the name of lab VM1 to SSH server and lab VM2 to SSH client. Okay, to make things simpler and easy to understand, I'm changing the host name. To change the host name, we use the command hostnamectl set-hostname SSH server. The host name doesn't seem to be changed, so we are executing another command exec bash. This would change the name. Likewise, let's change on VM2 hostnamectl set-hostname excuse me, SSH client. Exec bash, it would reload the bash, and the client the hostname has been changed to SSH-client. Okay, so in server we need to have this server, this package, whereas in client side we need to have grep-I stands for ignore the case, open SSH-clients. Yes, the client package is installed here, and here the server package is installed. There is another way to find whether the package is installed or not, and that is RPM query. RPM query open SSH server. It would show the packages. Likewise, RPM query open SSH-clients. It would also show the package installed. Okay. Now, for example, let's assume the package was not there. The package by default in CentOS 8, let's see which version I'm using, cat etc os-release. This will reveal the OS of the system. It is CentOS 8, and here cat etc os-release. OS is CentOS 8. In CentOS 8, by default, SSH package or packages are installed. But suppose if there is no SSH package, then how can we install it? Okay. To demonstrate it, I'm going to remove the package. Alright, I'm going to remove package from server. Yum remove open SSH-server. This will remove the package. Now if I do rpm-query a grep open SSH-server, then there is no package. Alright, there is no package. So if I have to install the package, then I would have to do yum install open SSH-server. Let's wait for a while. I think I'm not sure if there is internet in this system. It seems to have internet. Let's ping hostname. There is no DNS service, so it is not pinging the hostname, but it is pinging the IP address. So let's set the DNS result.conf. Here name server. This is the Google DNS, and let's try to ping a name. Now it is pinging, so it would now let me install open SSH-server. Let's be patient. It won't take much time, I guess. It is updating the repositories. Please bear with me. It is asking whether to install or not. So definitely I'm going to hit Y. So it is installing open SSH-server package. Alright. Now if I query the system to check the package, then what would be the result? open SSH-server. Yes, the package is installed now. RPM query, open SSH-server. The package is there. Okay. Now let's check if the service is running or not. The package has been installed, no issues, but is the service running? Is SSH service running? To check that, we have to issue a command systemctl status sshd. It is showing that the service is inactive. So to start it, we have to use systemctl start sshd. Now let's check again. The process is running. And to make the process start, if the system reboots, then we have to do system enable SSD. This would survive reboot. And suppose if you have to execute both the command in one single line, then you can simply do this as well. Let's restart it. Systemctl restart SSD. Systemctl enable SSD. In one single line, you can execute both commands separated with a semicolon. Alright. And let's check using netstat if SSH service is really listening or not. We installed the package, we started the package, we restarted the package, I mean service, we restarted the service. Now let's see if it is listening, if the service is listening. For that, netstat hyphen and do not resolve to host name, T means for TCP connection, so listening sockets, P means for process ID. Yes, it is listening on port number 22. So there is no issue. Let's go to ssshinfo.txt. I think there is not necessary to mention anything. I have already shown everything. And one more thing I would like to show you. Suppose when VM2 tries to connect to VM1, it has to go through firewall if firewall is in place. Let's check if SSH server has firewall active or running. Subctl status firewall D. The firewall is running. Is the firewall allowing port 22? How can we check that? Firewall-cmd list that -all, and if we do this, we can see that SSH is allowed through firewall. Actually, it is allowed by default. SSH service is allowed by default in CentOS 8. Okay. So when SSH do not work, then we have to check the firewall as well. So this is quite a good introduction video in SSH. When the course progresses, we will have really deep insight on SSH. For this session, thank you.